guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review, and today we are going to be discussing a relatively new horror film, a very new one in terms of what we normally talk about. Suspiria 2018.
Yes.
The Luca Guadagnino directed what the fuck film.
Yes. Yes.
This was pretty much definitely my favorite movie of last year.
It was on my list, yeah. It was one of my favorites.
Definitely the best horror movie of last year, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
It is so vastly different from anything anyone expected.
Yeah.
Whatever you hear people say about this movie, whether they hated it or loved it, they're probably not wrong.
Exactly, yeah.
Because I absolutely love this film.
Me too.
But it's so far removed from the original Suspiria in every regard.
Yes, because last year we reviewed the original Suspiria.
Which both of us love.
Oh yeah, we love that movie.
It's a fantastic film. I don't think it's my favorite Argento movie, but it's up there, and it's definitely his most remembered film.
Yeah, it's his most iconic movie. So this was a remake of a horror classic.
Yes.
And we know how most of those turn out.
Generally not so great.
No.
But going into this, both of us were kind of, we were cautiously optimistic about it, because it's like, okay, Luca Guadagnino, he's a really good director. He's made several really great films. He made Call Me By Your Name, I Am Love, really good stuff. But they're not horror films.
Exactly.
He's never done a thing like this.
And then also, like, this movie, it's 2.5 hours long.
Yeah.
It doesn't have, like, any of the, like, style of the original. The original is this big, bright, colorful movie.
It's a Technicolor craziness movie.
Yeah. This has none of that.
Yes. This is very bleak.
Yes.
This movie takes advantage of the setting a lot more in that first one, which is a very bleak time during the 70s.
So there's a lot of, like, skepticism with this movie, because you're just like, is this direction right? Like, what is this gonna be?
Yeah.
But it all worked out, like, for the best.
Yes. Because it's like something that we say a lot about remakes is, if you're gonna do a remake of a movie that's already great, do something different with it.
Yeah.
He clearly took that into mind when he made this.
Because this movie has a lot of the same plot elements of the original movie. It has a lot of the same essential plot beats.
Yeah, most of those big beats are hit in...
Yeah.
It's a much longer film.
Yeah.
It takes its time a lot more.
But what this movie does is that it expands upon, like, every element of the original, because the original movie, like we said in our review, the plot is not its strong point.
Yes. It's an Argento movie. His movies, some of them have pretty good plots. At the end of the day, it's a giallo film. It's more so about, like, a mystery.
Yeah.
And it's very visual.
Yeah, the plot is not, like, what you really think of when you think of Suspiria. And it's not the best put together plot for a movie.
Yeah.
But this one delves into it and expands upon everything and makes it a really interesting plot.
Yes. And this one really removes the whole mystery element.
Yes.
Because that's the whole thing with Suspiria, is like, it's you don't know that they're witches until the end of the film.
Until you get that big, like, exposition dump.
The ridiculous exposition dump from Udo Kier.
Yeah.
It works for that movie.
But in this movie, in the first scene that you see Chloe Grace Moretz's character, she's meeting up with this doctor who she usually sees, and she's just like, oh, they're witches.
Yes, right off the bat, they're witches. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I was watching the movie and I'm like, okay, so it's not a mystery.
And that
Let's see
works
what they do with this.
So well for this movie, because then you get to delve into how the witches work and how they operate.
Yes, you see the politics behind it.
Because the original couldn't do that because it was setting up a mystery.
Exactly.
But this one it delves right in. You have scenes of, like, the group of witches who run the dance school just, like, discussing stuff and everything and trying to figure things out. Yeah. And it's really fascinating.
Yeah, everything about the witches and how they run the school and how they perform their, like, spells and shit. It's so interesting to watch, and like, really, the movie does take its time. It's almost a 3 hour long movie, or at least 2.5 hours. It never really gets to feel boring.
No,
throughout the entire runtime. I really wouldn't want much of it to be taken away.
That's
anyway,
the thing.
As long as it is, that pace is the movie, and those moments when the movie does ratchet up the tension are so much more effective because of it. Yeah, because the rest of the movie, you're really kind of lulled into, like, an almost, like, okay, things are calm. This isn't going to be as crazy as the original film. And then when the time comes for something horrific and violent to happen, it's so crazily, like, intense and uncomfortable and you're like, wow, that it really just packs that much more of a punch.
Yeah. This movie is so well directed and like well edited that like it's almost hypnotizing to watch. It's like it's kind of like how the original Suspiria is hypnotizing, but like for different reasons.
Yes, it's weird because the dance sequences in this, which the dancing wasn't really an important part of the original.
No,
so much. It took place in a dance school.
Yeah, it was just a setting for the movie.
Whereas this one, the dancing is everything.
Yeah,
the dancing really is how they do all of their stuff.
Yeah, it's like the most important element of the movie.
Yeah, and it's the most like fun stuff to watch. The dance sequences, even when there's no music, because you have your main character, who we haven't even said the name of the main character yet, Susie Bannion.
Yeah.
Who is this young girl who's come from America. You get a little bit of her backstory with she was part of like an Amish family or something, and her mother dies. And so she goes off to Germany to dance. In the middle of the 70s, it's Cold War.
Yeah.
Got the Berlin Wall.
It's literally right outside the school.
And it's an important plot point.
Yeah.
Because you've got that character, Chloe Grace Moretz, from earlier in the film, who disappears. She gets taken by the witches.
Yeah.
But the way that they write it off is, oh, she was like a militant or something. Yeah. And she probably got herself in some trouble or got herself killed. So it does play an important role in the movie in more ways than one, because later on in the movie you get stuff with one of Tilda Swinton's characters. She has multiple roles in the movie. Yeah. We brought up the doctor that Chloe Grace Moretz talks to.
That's played by Tilda Swinton.
Also played by Tilda Swinton, which I didn't know while I was watching the movie. When I first originally watched this movie, I at moments thought, okay, that might be somebody in old age makeup, maybe, but I never once thought that it was Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, the makeup is friggin' amazing.
Absolutely phenomenal. And it never once took me out of the movie.
No.
That was her.
The voice is a little bit like higher pitched.
Yeah, the voice is a little weird, but like it's convincing enough as like an old man.
Mother Marcos, Mother Meinhof, dance rehearsal, political action.
She emotes like so perfectly through the makeup. Yeah. Like it's incredible. Like it's amazing how they did
Tilda Swinton is like one of my favorite actors in anything, period. I really love her.
She's great. And then she plays Madame Blanc, who is the head of the dance school, and that's the big person that like Susie wants to impress and everything. And
so as things are happening in the school, Susie is just trying to fit in, and she's really sort of like moving up, because Madame Blanc wasn't supposed to sit down in on her audition at the beginning of the movie, and she like stops in, and she's the one that like brings her into the school because she felt a presence by her dancing.
Yeah.
So what she sees in her is that she wants her to be this medium for their main witch, Helena Marcos, which is what they were trying to do with Chloe Grace Moretz until she went crazy and couldn't take anything anymore.
Yeah.
The movie is her trying to condition Susie into being this medium or this new body for Helena Marcos.
The Susie character in this one's kind of like oblivious to all of this, unlike the original where it's like her figuring out this like mystery. She's kind of one that just like she just wants to be a dancer. That's her whole goal, and like her actually like moving up in the ranks is like what's most important to her.
Yes.
So she really is oblivious to everything. Like you have her one roommate character who was really good friends with Chloe Grace Moretz's character, kind of like in the original. She's all like suspicious of kind of what's going on and stuff. And even then, she's trying to she's trying to investigate, and Susie's just like, all right, and she's going along for the ride. She's like, you know. Yeah. Even though her character's kind of oblivious to this, she's still a really interesting, well-developed character. Unlike like the original, where she's kind of there, you know.
Yeah. No, she has a lot to do.
Yeah.
And especially just all the dance sequences are so hypnotizing.
Yes.
Those, just watching those alone, even separate from the characters, all that shit, it's so well choreographed and well edited. And of course you have the dance sequence that's the first kill in the movie.
Oh my god, that
probably
sequence,
the most memorable sequence in the movie, is so messed up and so just legitimately horrifying.
Because up to this point, the movie kind of had this like overwhelming kind of sense of dread. Like you know something's wrong and you can just feel it, but really nothing has happened.
Nothing terrible has happened yet, aside from, you know, Chloe Grace Moretz has like definitely said some stuff that's like, whoa, like, okay, something is going to happen, but it's just felt like it's building up to it.
Yeah.
And you finally have this scene of this one girl who finally yells and is like, fuck this, I'm out of this school, you're all crazy, and even calls them witches.
Yeah.
And she runs out, and they're like, let's just continue dancing. And Tilda Swinton like rubs her hands, and there's this little
Yeah.
glow on her hands, and you realize, oh, she's like casting some kind of spell, which they didn't really do anything like that in the original film.
No.
They never really abused the witch's powers. And this, she does this, and while she's doing this crazy dance sequence, the protagonist, as they call it,
Yeah.
the girl who went to run off wanders into a practice room that's just surrounded by mirrors, and she somehow gets almost like possessed in a way.
Yeah.
To the point where like every time
Susie-
she does a move,
Yeah.
she sort of gets moved that way too. And the dance moves are so abrupt and so shocking to the body that it looks almost like it could be painful for Susie, and it's definitely painful for the girl. Oh my
Her bones are just like twisting in
Yes.
ways they shouldn't be, and like cracking, and
Everything's
like you see her
cracking, bones
ribs.
are breaking, and she's bruising.
She's being
and,
slammed into the glass.
like she's literally like pissing her pants.
Yeah.
And it's so grotesque and so shocking, and it's the best scene of the movie.
Yeah.
And to come from a guy like Luca Guadagnino, his prior movies that I've watched are so subtle and so really, really just like kind of laid back movies for the most part. And then have this, like the most violent thing I've seen in a movie theater in years.
Yeah.
It was just so wild.
Another thing about this movie that's really great is the music.
Yes.
And in this one, it's a very different score. The movie's not like getting by on it, but the music still enhances the movie.
Exactly. Goblin did the score of the original, and it's their typical sort of like bombastic. Like,
Yeah.
And that's one of my favorite scores of movies
Yeah.
of all time. It works really well in the context of that movie.
Yeah.
This one, Tom York did the score of Radiohead, and it's a lot more laid back for the most part. They're
Even in-
literal just songs.
Yeah.
That just sound like a Tom York song, but they work in the context of the
Even
movie.
in like be some sort of crazy scene happening, but they'll just have that song playing, and it's like weird kind of blend, but it somehow works.
Yeah, and that weird little piano song that plays during the dancing scenes is really like unsettling and just, it's very subtle. You didn't need anything too much more than that to really kind of get under your skin with these scenes.
And then you get to like the ending of the movie. We both said this after seeing it in theaters. We're just like, this is like one of the craziest things we've ever seen in a theater.
Yes, it definitely is. I could see this movie not playing well to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But we were there. There were like 2 other people in our theater.
Yeah.
And I think we all ate it up.
Yeah. Oh, we loved it.
Because the ending sequence of them in their whole ritual of attempting to get Susie Bannion to take over Helena Marcos doesn't work out. Because
Well, first you see Marcos, and it's Tilda Swinton.
again. But you would never know it.
No.
Because she's this grotesque, old, slimy woman with these weird goggles. And these like claws. It looks like a witch, like a horrific witch, like you would imagine in like an old fairy tale, but like even more grotesque.
And it's just there's all the students there. They're all naked and dancing.
Naked and dancing. There's just some guy who's singing like an operatic. That's like a good word for the whole ending. Is like this operatic sequence of gore and
heads exploding.
Yes, because what happens is their ritual does not work because plot twist of the film, which we were not expecting, is Susie is Mother Suspiriorum, which we didn't really go into the whole Three Mothers thing.
Yeah.
Three Mothers thing was like a thing that Dario Argento kind of tacked on after he made Suspiria, when he made Inferno and something else. I don't remember the other movie.
Forgot.
Mother of Tears?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard it's bad. I've seen the other 2. They're good. But the Three Mothers trilogy is in reference to
Mother Tenebrarum, Mother Lacrimarum, and Mother Suspiriorum.
That's a part of this movie for some reason, but it works.
Yeah.
And Mother Suspiriorum turns out to be Susie Bannion the whole time. And you don't really know. It's kind of left up to you whether she's been aware of it the whole movie or not. I feel like she wasn't fully aware until the end, but by this ending, she's Mother Suspiriorum, and she is upset. Because Mother Helena Marcos, she's full of shit, basically. And she's like, okay, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to kill all of the people that voted for you earlier in the movie. And that's what the whole ending sequence is.
It's insane.
And it's to like a very calm Tom York song. It's got some weird stuff with like the frame rate changing and couple questionable computer generated moments. That's really the only time in the movie where anything effects wise was not great.
They try to hide it with the red lighting.
Exactly, and it's brief, and it really doesn't detract from it at all.
The scene itself is so crazy. You just kind of like, okay, you just kind of go with it because you're still in shock of what you're seeing.
Yeah. And just everybody's getting killed. The old man, who we didn't really talk a ton about the old man. The old man is kind of the detective of this movie. Yeah. He's the one that's trying to piece things together and tell people. And he gets taken in by these... And the way that they get the old man in...
Oh my God.
Is so first of all, one of the things that he's kind of brought up in the movie is that he's lost his wife during World War II. And she comes back.
Yeah.
Quote unquote. And when she comes back... It's the actress who plays Susie from the original film. I forget the actress's name, but we both like looked to each other in the theater like, holy shit, she's in it.
Yeah.
And it's not even just like a little cameo. I mean, it is, but it has a character.
Yeah, and it plays into the story.
Yeah, and it's really emotional for the character of the old man because it's just so sad because he spent his whole life wondering what happened with her, wondering if she lived and survived the Holocaust and just got away somewhere. And you see this hope that he's like, oh my God, she actually did make it. She actually survived, and he's happy for probably the first time in however many years it's been, 30, 40 years since he lost her. And then he has it immediately taken away from her. Yeah. Because they're walking around and he's not paying attention to where they're going. He's just finally getting to hear his wife speak again and tell him where she was, how she survived. And then immediately he realizes, oh shit, I'm outside of this dance school. And his wife is gone. Yeah. And then these witches come up to him screaming. And they pull him in, and he's there to witness. They pull him in as like the witness for their ritual. Because they have to have like a witness. And so he's like naked and crying for help the whole time. It's just a really, really insane thing. We were expecting after this whole grand climax it would just end. Yeah. But no, it continues after that, kind of to send off the old man character. And give him some closure.
And there's this great like emotional scene where Susie, or Mother Suspiriorum,
at this point she's just Mother Suspiriorum,
visits him and like tells him basically what happened to his wife and how she died and everything. And it's this very like emotional scene, and I was not expecting that out of this movie.
Exactly. It's odd to see like she's showing pity and remorse for him specifically, because she's like, you don't deserve this. Yeah. It's like, we gotta kill people, but not you.
No, yeah. But it's a movie about a school of witches, and it has an emotional ending.
A lot of emotion throughout the film.
Yeah, that too.
It's really just every aspect of it is so different from the original. I think they're both kind of masterful in their own way.
I can't really compare them or say which one is better. Yeah. Because they're so different.
I don't think I'd have a way to say this movie's better than this one, because they're entirely going for different things. Suspiria, the original, is of its time, of the 70s in Italy. Yeah. Like, it was the peak of that era of giallo. And this is just a completely different thing from anything.
Yeah, but it works so well. It's so effective. Yeah. It's such a great movie.
Absolutely. And I'm very curious to see whatever Luca Guadagnino does next. Yeah. Which will probably not be horror, but if he ends up doing a horror follow-up to this, I will be there to watch it.
Exactly, yes.
And I guess that's all we've got to say for now about this. We probably didn't even scratch the surface entirely with all there is to delve into in this movie. There's just so much with this movie. Yeah. We both absolutely love it. Yeah. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Know what you're getting into when you go into it. It's a very long, kind of slow-paced movie, but it is brilliant.
It's visually stunning, the editing is fantastic, and the music is great too.
Absolutely. And that's about all we've got to say about Suspiria 2018. Yep. Go watch it. Yes. And until our next horror review, we will see you guys later.